The grass is getting greener, the days are getting longer, and the sun is getting brighter. Spring is here, and so too is baseball season, along with its virtual representation in MLB 15, the show. Sony's lone and inveterate sports franchise bears its cleats firmly in the mound as it continues to transition to the PS4. So naturally, the question becomes, does Sony's second foray into next-gen territory bear fruitful? Or does this outing fall prey to the unrealized ideals that so often plague conversions to newer hardware?
Chicago White Sox and their crosstown rivals to the north, the Chicago Cubs.
First things first, MLB 15 is not a big leap forward over MLB 14, which, as you well know, played similarly to its previous entry and even the one before it. Now, homogeneity across an iterative series is oft considered a sign of stagnancy and perhaps regression. Yet, incremental and oftentimes indiscernible improvements atop a solid foundation have propelled the show into the top tier of sports gaming. When trying to recreate a sport that is readily observable, developers are afforded little opportunity to innovate in a theatrical manner, such as the mantra of the development team that is SCEA.
Good play, but it's all for naught, as that'll be an infield single.
An ostentatious implementation of a feature founded on reality is rarely successful, and Sony's team has never succumbed to the pressures of feature quantity, or shall we say, feature dramatization. So it goes then that MLB 15 continues the trend of providing gamers with subtle gameplay improvements that undoubtedly updates the gameplay, but at the same time, those improvements will hardly be noticed by the more casual fans.
Can you believe it? They've gone in front by a run.
This year, MLB 15 The Show boasts advanced AI logic that results in outfielders taking more realistic routes to the ball.
That'll hit off the ivy out there.
A new inverse kinematics engine, which is just smart person talk for player limbs that procedurally adapt to various situations, which, of course, is average IQ person talk for improved animation quality. And a new directional hitting interface that combines timing with left stick movement to influence ball direction.
Gets a hold of this one as it's in the air to deep left. Does he have another one? He does. It's another home run.
Minor additions aside, it's really the wealth of new animations that supply greater immersion and breathe more life into a series that prides itself on gameplay and contextual animation. Ultimately, the features, though unexceptional they are layered on top of the core gameplay experience, an experience that more accurately reflects its sport than any other game on the market.
Out of here! She was a wall scraper, but it counts just the same, a home run.
Batting continues to generate realistic hit dispersions with great variety in hit types.
And this is going to get down for what should be extra bases.
The controls are tight, regardless of which control scheme is utilized. The same goes for pitching. Traditional meter pitching, pulse pitching, analog pitching, it doesn't matter. Each configuration fosters realistic pitch locations.
Pedroia on to Napoli, not in time, and they'll get only the one out.
Better yet, the realistic outcomes for both batting and pitching in no way preclude the influence of player ratings. Sony strikes a perfect balance between precise controls, realistic outcomes, and player ratings that increase or decrease the user's room for error. And again, like every year, the computer behaves realistically as well.
Still on 1 and 2, and he gets this one down.
Pitchers will attempt to get you to chase out of the strike zone when ahead in the count. Hitters display real-life tendencies pursuant to their real-life stats. And even fielders appropriately bobble, overthrow, or otherwise misplay balls in the field. The core gameplay is nearly perfect.
Locations, but equally effective.
Beautiful lighting permeates the beautifully rendered stadiums. Watch in spectacular fashion as the lighting alters in real time over the course of a game. The improved lighting certainly highlights a plethora of graphical refinements, complemented by more variations to skin tones with gloss and specular improvements, along with better grass and dirt textures. The graphics are simply beautiful, and the game looks even better in motion. The frame rate rarely dips below 60 frames per second, and does justice to the generally fantastic animation quality.
Nothing will come of the two-out double as the inning is over.
The presentation similarly flourishes. Matt Vasgersian-led broadcast resembles the MLB network, and real-time animations and events drive the presentation instead of cutscenes, lending a more authentic look and feel to the broadcast.
The San Francisco Giants.
The commentary, while similar to previous years, still hosts an enormous library of dialogue that offers a level of insight and professionalism rarely found in sports games.
3-1. I can't imagine he's going to get anything that he can drive right here.
At the same time though, the booth includes Steve Lyons and Eric Karros, and they lack a necessary camaraderie or banter that should inject a dose of fun and realism to the broadcast.
He's the most important guy, but don't forget, you get the potential winning run on at first base. So this game is really up in the air now.
Unfortunately, there aren't many improvements to the game's core modes. Franchise mode adds general manager contracts, forcing you to consider ownership expectations when running your team. Additionally, a highly marketed radio show provides dynamic box score updates in your league, but it lacks real substance.
The final was 5-4.
Likewise, Road to the Show doesn't feature any improvements worth noting.
Here's a ball hit pretty well and carrying to deep right, and that'll get down out there for extra bases.
Of course, the requisite annual upgrades to various simulation engines were touted, but not necessarily noted. More extensive testing is required to prove said improvements. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, initial reports for online play are a mixed bag. Some have reported lag-free experiences, while others have expressed less than stellar online play. In a game that demands perfect timing, a lag-free experience is essential. We'll see how the servers hold up as more gamers get their hands on the game, but if the improved online infrastructure does as it's bid, online leagues may finally be a viable option. Only time will tell.
Bag out in the outfield grass on this play. You're not going to double this guy up.
Undeniably familiar over the years, but undeniably consistent, MLB 15 The Show continues the trend of supplying fans the game of baseball in its purest virtual form. It doesn't differentiate itself much from previous iterations, but it still offers and will continue to offer the ultimate baseball simulation for years to come. The question is though, is there enough change to warrant a new purchase? The choice is certainly yours, but objectively, MLB 15 The Show knocks it out of the park. A 9 out of 10. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for weekly gaming content. Also make sure to check out my new series highlighting the 25 greatest sports games of all time. And lastly, stay tuned for a franchise playthrough as I attempt to take my beloved Chicago Cubs to the World Series. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, I'm out.